Hey guys, John Faulkner here with Survival Dispatch, and today we're going to take a look at the Haix Shout Boots. These were sent to us by Haix. I didn't pay for them, so take that for what it is. But the great guys over at Haix saw a lot of our videos and wanted to know if we want to try out one of their boots. And I know if you guys have been around the channel and seen quite a bit, you know I'm not a huge fan of heavy boots. I like a lot of smaller running trail shoes, things like that, even when I'm hiking mountains. But I said, you know, Haix, yeah, I'll give them a try. They said that you're going to love them. I said probably not. They said you're going to love them, so they sent them. And I will have to tell you, I kind of love them. So this was something that, you know, it caught me by surprise. I figured, you know, as soon as I took them out of the box, I was like, oh yeah, I figured they were heavy. You know, I kind of consider these like a mountaineering boot, you know, but extremely durable, but you know, a little on the heavy side. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna put it through the paces. So we've had these for like 3 or 4 months. I have probably put over 100 miles on these shoes. I've rucked in them. We've done some nasty, muddy range days, as you can tell. We've hiked in them. We have done workout here on the property in them, all kinds of things, and they're extremely comfortable. The weight isn't that bad. The soles on them have a ton of traction. The leather on them has just been amazing so far, and the waterproof has been awesome. So we're gonna kind of break down some of the unique features that are in these boots that you might not see, and they kind of just look like a regular, you know, leather work boot or hiking boot or mountaineering boot. But there is a lot of little intricacies packed into these boots that I think really set them apart from what I had my mindset being when Haix sent them to me. And just so you guys know, their website is haix.com. It's Haix.com. So it's spelled a little different, but it's pronounced Haix. So so these boots, you know, were sent to me. I wear a size 13, so that makes a boot look big anyways. But they have a 7-inch cover here. So 7 inches, you know, like I said, it's usually a little high, but fantastic at protecting your ankles if you're on really rocky terrain or doing things like that. Really nice, hard, you know, plastic, rubberish toe cap, no steel cap, but you know, I had a couple steel plates. I had one that I dropped that hit the toe cap here and didn't do anything to my toes, so that worked out well. We'll drop one of them here. The intricacy that I'm going to start with kind of starts in their smart lacing system, and I think they made this lacing system probably the best I've ever seen in a pair of boots, and it's broken down into a couple of facets. Usually with boots, because they have, you know, a lot of lacing, it's hard to tie. You got a lot of shoelace left. You usually end up double knotting them and things like that. But you know, starting from the bottom up, so you know, you have your typical lacing system until you get to this first part right here, and you first look at it and you're like, John, that's just a regular like D-ring. There's not really anything special. But this is actually a locking, a lace locking lug. And what you do is, so what it allows you to do is you know, your typical, oh, you pull a little slack out, you pull a little slack out, and then when you get to this point, when you pull this slack out and lock it down, you'll kind of hear it snap, and it just locked right there. So what that does is it allows you to set the tension on the bottom of your shoe. What usually happens is you try to take the slack out, you keep trying to take it up, and then you're trying to yank it from the top, and you can really never get the bottom secured around the top of your foot. And that's what I found with a lot of boots, but not these, because of this locking lace system. So now with this locked, I cannot pull this lace. I mean, it's extremely hard, but it's just simple. As soon as you tug it, it pulls in and it locks in. So what it allows you to do is set how tight you want the laces to be, and then you simply just pull them on both sides like you would just, you know, any normal shoes. It allows you to set that tension, and as you can see, the shoelace is locked in. So I'm able to set the tension at the bottom, and then I can go up to the couple here, pull them up tight, cinch it real tight. I get a nice cinch on the top of my foot at the bottom. I get a nice cinch up above my ankle. Then it comes to the neck system. Now, there's quite a few companies out there that have these, you know, locking systems. Solomon, you see them on like a lot of Solomon boots and stuff. But this locking system worked really well. Never came loose on me one time. It allows you to simply just pull the laces tight, cinch it down, and then boom, you're done. Nice tight around your ankle, ready to rock and roll. But then what do you do with all this extra shoelace out here? Well, you simply just tuck it in to the side pocket. And what I liked about this, even over Solomon's, is it doesn't make the tongue. A lot of people try to put the pocket in the tongue, and I always felt like it kind of bothered me because you have this big huge wad pushing right in the front of your ankle. We're bringing it over to the side, you just tuck it in, nice tuck. Never have to really worry about your shoelaces once you put your pants down. Your pants are gonna kind of go over it. Never have to worry about your shoelaces coming untied, getting caught on a stick or a rock, anything like that. And yeah, I mean, it never bothered me. I never felt it on the outside of my ankle. And just a lot of little features that they've built into just the lacing system of this boot. Now, you know, looking around, they call it the smart lacing system. You'll see these boots are pretty much made out of leather, 100% leather, except for the inner liner. The inner liner is a Gore-Tex liner. We went to a range day event in Georgia where you'll see this nice Georgia clay still on here. And it probably rained 2.5 inches that day. Mud everywhere, nasty, and there was no way avoiding it. I had work to do, so I was in it pretty much all day. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. pretty much. We were in, you know, nasty, muddy, wet conditions all day long, and my feet stayed dry 100%. So a huge, huge shout out, you know, to the leather construction of these boots and the Gore-Tex liner that's in them. Absolutely awesome. I couldn't speak high enough for them because, you know, when your feet get wet, it's already a horrible day if it's raining outside and you're outside. But if your feet get wet, it just makes it like 10 times worse. On the bottom, they're running a Vibram sole, fantastic grip. You know, I thought these lugs were a little soft to begin with. I thought they'd wear out, especially when I was rucking. And like I said, I probably put 80 to 90 miles rucking on sidewalks, roads, things like that in town on these also. And I see very, very little wear on them. So you know you're gonna be able to get some miles and years out of these boots, especially if you're only doing things, you know, in the hills and the mountains. You know, I tried to put it to the test of kind of everywhere. So in loose dirt, in mud, and even on asphalt and concrete, just to see kind of how they would hold up. And they did fantastic. The rubber on them is soft enough that you still get traction if it's raining on concrete, and you get good traction on rocks and things like that if you're in the mountains. But it's still firm enough that it's not going to wear out on you. So I think it's a fantastic combination. They also have a fiberglass stay in here as well. And I will say these boots are extremely stiff, just like most, you know, heavy duty work boots, mountaineering boots like this. They're extremely stiff when you take it out of the box. It probably took me a good week or so of wearing these to start to really break in the top in front of the brace, in front of the laces where your foot kind of bends. Now the middle of them, if you're talking like a prepping situation, you're bugging out and you're wanting to carry a heavy backpack, or if you're backpacking, you're wanting to carry, you know, 40, 50, 60 pound pack, you're going to put a lot of load and a lot of weight on your shoes. And you see a lot of shoes really start to blow out in the middle section here. These shoes are so tough, so strong. Like I can't bend these shoes and actually make them compress it all in the middle. And that gives you a very stable foundation when you are walking or hiking over uneven terrain. You're not going to have to worry about rocks really feeling the bottom of them, poking the bottom of your foot, anything like that. It's just rock solid. And like I said, once these shoes broke in front of the laces, a little bit in the back of the heel, they were awesome. Just awesome. I mean, to the point that I started wearing them to the office just as kind of like an everyday shoe, just because they were comfortable, threw them on and they were good to go. So, you know, I was really, really surprised by how they broke in. These shoes I left dirty just to keep putting them to the test, so I never washed them in the couple of months that I had them. You can see there's a couple of spots here and there on the leather. That's just because these things have been beat up in water. I'm sure they would clean right up and, you know, they'd be ready to go. But these Haix Scout boots, I really have nothing negative to say about them, which is kind of surprising, you know, because I thought I would just really not like them just due to how I usually choose to wear my footwear. Are they a little heavy? They're a little heavy on my standard, but when you put them in the normal class of boots like this, they fall right in line. You know, and so that kind of brings us to the price. These are $250 at the time of this shooting on the Haix website. I think you can find them at some other stores also. And you know, some of you might say $250 completely not worth it, way overpriced for what I usually pay on footwear. But you know, footwear is like a lot of other things. What you pay for is what you get. And I think you get so much packed into this boot. Just from, you know, the Vibram sole to the leather construction, the Gore-Tex waterproof liner that's on these boots. You really can't go wrong with it. And it's a boot that is going to last you for years. So, you know, it's one of those things, you get what you pay for. And, you know, can everybody afford it? No. But I can tell you, $250 on these boots is an investment that, you know, I will probably have this boot, not as like an everyday shoe, but I'll probably have these boots for 5-6 years probably. Just because, you know, whenever it's nasty, this is a boot that I can put on. I know my feet are gonna stay dry. You can throw some Gore-Tex pants over it, which I did one time in like downpour rain, and I'm not gonna have to worry about it. So, you know, is there still a place for trail running shoes and, you know, lightweight hiking, you know, midsole, things like that? Absolutely. But if we're talking, you know, having to hike with serious loads, having to bug out and carry a big backpack and need a very sturdy shoe, this is an absolute fantastic option for that. So if you're interested in more about this shoe, be sure you check out haix.com, Haix.com, and check out their other offerings. They have a huge variety of boots, everything from military. They do a lot of work with a lot of firefighters and EMTs, things like that. So go ahead, check out their boots. And this is the review of the Haix Scout.